Imagine a prequel to The Hound of the Baskervilles that explores the origin of the Baskerville curse and the early history of the family. How did the legend of the Hound begin? These prompts can help delve deeper into the novel's characters, themes, and narrative techniques, offering various angles for analysis and creative exploration. The Hound of the Baskervilles is one of the most famous novels featuring the detective Sherlock Holmes, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Published in 1902, it is set largely on Dartmoor in Devon in England's West Country. Here's a brief overview. Summary. The story begins with Dr. John Watson and Sherlock Holmes receiving a visit from Dr. James Mortimer, who seeks their help in solving the mystery of the death of his friend, Sir Charles Baskerville. Sir Charles died under mysterious circumstances on the grounds of his estate, Baskerville Hall in Devonshire. According to local legend, a supernatural hound has been haunting the Baskerville family for generations, causing the premature deaths of several family members. Sir Charles's heir, Sir Henry Baskerville, is arriving from Canada to take over the estate, and Dr. Mortimer fears for his safety. Holmes sends Watson to accompany Sir Henry to Baskerville Hall and gather information while he stays in London to handle other matters. Key characters. Sherlock Holmes, the brilliant detective known for his keen observation and deductive reasoning. Dr. John Watson, Holmes's loyal friend and chronicler, who is sent to Dartmoor to protect Sir Henry and investigate. Sir Henry Baskerville, the heir to the Baskerville estate who has recently arrived from Canada. Dr. James Mortimer, a country doctor and friend of the late Sir Charles, who brings the case to Holmes. Mr. Jack Stapleton, a naturalist living near Baskerville Hall who has a keen interest in the moor. Beryl Stapleton, Mr. Stapleton's sister, who warns Watson of the danger to Sir Henry. Barrymore, the butler at Baskerville Hall who behaves suspiciously. Selden, an escaped convict hiding on the moor who is related to Barrymore. Major themes: rationalism versus supernatural. The novel explores the tension between logical reasoning and the supernatural. Holmes's ultimate debunking of the myth of the Hound underscores the triumph of reason. Nature versus civilization. The wild and untamed moor contrasts with the order and structure of London, symbolizing the untamed nature of human fears and the chaos lurking beneath civilization. Gothic elements. The novel incorporates elements of Gothic fiction, including a gloomy setting, a family curse, and a seemingly supernatural antagonist. Plot developments. Watson's investigation uncovers various clues, such as the presence of the escaped convict and the suspicious behavior of the Barrymores. Holmes arrives in Devonshire and reveals that he has been secretly investigating all along. They discover that Stapleton, who is actually a Baskerville relative with a claim to the inheritance, has been using a large, ferocious hound covered in phosphorus to scare Sir Charles and Sir Henry. Stapleton's plan is to kill Sir Henry and claim the Baskerville estate for himself. In the climax, the hound attacks Sir Henry, but Holmes and Watson intervene, saving him and exposing Stapleton's plot. Stapleton flees into the moor, where he presumably meets his end in the treacherous Grimpen Mire. Conclusion. The Hound of the Baskervilles remains a classic of detective fiction, showcasing Arthur Conan Doyle's skill in blending mystery with Gothic horror and his creation of an enduringly popular character in Sherlock Holmes. Create AI-generated prompts for above-said story ChatGPT. Certainly, here are some AI-generated prompts for various aspects of The Hound of the Baskervilles. Character analysis. Sherlock Holmes. Analyze how Sherlock Holmes uses his deductive reasoning to unravel the mystery of the Hound. How does his logical approach contrast with the superstitious fears of the other characters? Dr. John Watson. Discuss the role of Dr. Watson in the story. How does his perspective as the narrator influence the reader's understanding of the events? Sir Henry Baskerville. Explore Sir Henry Baskerville's character development from the beginning to the end of the novel. How does he cope with the threat to his life and the legacy of the Baskerville curse? Mr. Jack Stapleton. Examine the character of Jack Stapleton and his motivations. What drives him to commit such heinous acts, and how does he manipulate those around him? Themes: rationalism versus supernatural. Discuss the theme of rationalism versus the supernatural in the novel. How does Arthur Conan Doyle use the legend of the Hound to create suspense and then debunk it with logical explanations? Nature versus civilization. Analyze the juxtaposition of the wild moorland and the orderly life in London. How does the setting contribute to the mood and themes of the novel? Fear and superstition. Explore how fear and